Well, good morning, friends. Pastor Sam Dennis here. It's a gorgeous Saturday morning in June, the last Saturday of June. And I'm looking forward to teaching my last lesson for the Lance Ward class in the morning. Been studying Philippians, and I'm looking forward to having some time with him. You know, I was looking through Philippians 4 today. I've preached out of that passage so many times in my life. And one of the things that I caught today that came from the notes on old Barclay, William Barclay notes. And I don't often look at those much anymore, but they were so good. They reminded me of what Paul's telling them. 3 different times he asked the Philippians to do something in the Lord. He says that they ought to stand fast in the Lord. He tells Yodia and Cynthia that they ought to agree in the Lord. And then he finally comes back to his overarching theme for the book, rejoice in the Lord. One of the things that is hard for us sometimes is to stay in that rejoicing mode, because I think we often forget who and whose we are. Who we are and whose we are. Who we are born-again believers. We are people who've been brought from death to life. And whose we are the Lord's. And so not only has He saved us, He inhabits us. He lives with us. He lives within us. And in that relationship we have with Him, we find our strength and our joy. The challenge is we often forget in our mind on an everyday basis who and whose we are. We let the world influence us. We let TV influence us, other things we worry about, things we're consumed over, the things we love outside of Him. And not that these can't be good. Sometimes good is the enemy, though, of the very best, is it not? I want to challenge you today as you consider who and whose you are, that you find your strength in the Lord because you stand in Him. You decide to agree with your fellow believers, work together in fellowship, and not be at odds with people over some of the trivia things that come our way every day. And then finally, you rejoice in Him. You find your joy in Him. Paul goes on to write about right praying, right thinking, and right doing. He says 3 things. Pray about everything. Let your prayer and supplication be made known to God. He says that's where you'll find your peace. Pray about everything. And then he says, think about good things. Whatever is pure, honorable, just, of good report. Think on these things and you'll find your peace. Don't fill your mind with stinking thinking. And then finally, he says, act right. And this is what he says. Whatever you have seen in me, practice this. In other words, Paul gave himself as an example. I'm not sure I can always do that. I'd like to, but I think we ought to live as if someone is watching us. And I think we ought to live in such a way that people would find encouragement in us, an example in us, someone to model after. That's what Paul said. Do you have someone like that in your life? Well, I pray you do. And if you don't, look for them.